coming to my stream. This is a long-awaited stream. A lot of people were asking about this stream. This is I don't think I've had questions about something I've done that much in like ever. Everyone asking about like when I was doing the bone broth fasting, like what that was, why I was doing it. I am going to bring on Andrew. He's the one that was directing me and guiding me through all of it. So he's gonna just like answer questions and talk about it and all that. Thank you, Bradley. Okay. So let's get him on here. And yeah, start this up. I'm excited. So whatever you guys want to know, you gotta like ask questions. Hi.
Hello.
Cut me off. Cut me off. This is Andrew. This is technically Roman's trainer. He works with my trainer Sophie and kind of helps us do better. Helps everyone do better.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on with us.
Absolutely.
There's only 3,000 people here watching.
Yeah, I'm new, and for those of you, I'm new to the Instagram world, so this is it's fun to get on with you, Brittney, in a different setting than in the gym.
Than the gym, yes.
Right.
Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna try and pull up some questions.
Yeah.
Um,
And were these bone broth questions specifically, or were they just nutrition questions in general?
I think nutrition in general, but I think most people were just asking, why was I only drinking bone broth for so many days? Or like, what's the point of fasting drinking bone broth?
All right, so I'll take some notes down initially. Why bone broth?
Why bone broth and what bone broth? A lot of people are like, important. Where do you get it or what kind? Or like, I don't really know. Obviously, I know the kind you recommended to me, but I don't really know why or.
Why fasting?
Yeah. Why fasting? Why? Let's see some of your guys' questions. Is it okay to drink beer every day?
No. Well, I would redirect the question and say, what is your aim? What is your goal?
Right. I think that's the biggest thing is what's people's goal and what's their why? Does bone broth have protein? How do you fix an into your pelvic tilt?
Okay. Oh, that's a fun one. I
feel like I had a big problem with that.
Yeah.
I worked on with Jimmy for a while because I would literally lay down. You could put a hand behind my back.
Right.
I
mean, you can take a multifaceted, anterior pelvic tilt. You can take a multifaceted approach to it. You can get massages, get stretching, which is what Brittney has Jimmy doing. Then she has Sophie, who is teaching proper movement patterns, more corrective exercise,
keeping me accountable.
Right, but there's a lot of different pathways to attack something. And I'll first start too by saying. This is anything that we talk about today is not meant to diagnose or treat any underlying symptoms. Always consult your trusted medical professional before you make any changes to your diet, routine, etc. So Roman and Brittney obviously have tasked me and Sophie with the responsibility to help them living their best lives. So this is just kind of a chat with Brittney and I, and hopefully you can take some things away from this. That will benefit you as well. That's the aim. Yeah. But I will say, with that being said, I would hope that all doctors would say it is not okay to drink beer every day.
Right? Yeah.
I would hope that
mentally and physically.
I would hope that everyone could agree on that consensus. That mentally, absolutely, physically. I myself, I couldn't even. I don't. Maybe it's been a year, 2 years since I've had any alcohol myself.
Same. I've been over 2 years. No alcohol.
Yeah. It just doesn't make any sense. If your aim is to be.
Hey, look at that stud.
Hey, there he is.
Gonna pull up a chair? Or do you want me to just turn it?
I got
Yeah, but if your aim is
I'll
to be
slide.
Look
as,
at this.
if your aim is to be the, oh, come on, what is this? Is this self-made?
It's not mine, yeah. It's all grass-fed beef. Whoops. It's grass-fed beef.
Okay.
That I literally just made while he was doing a live stream.
Okay.
I tilted
It looked like Chipotle. You made it look almost like Chipotle.
it.
And I'm like, there's no way Roman's
Not
eating
Chipotle.
It's not
Yeah,
mine
like,
either.
Not Chipotle.
there's no way.
I only have my protein shake, so. It
All
looks,
right, so
I smell Ortego, though.
You're gonna make
you
me
guys
eat
got
on it?
Ortega in there?
Do you not want to eat on stream?
Oh, just
Well,
maybe like that.
Soon you'll get the Primal Kitchen, which is a little bit more optimized than Ortega. But I can start with why bone broth. So it's like, what is your aim, first of all and foremost? Like, what are you aiming to do? What's the purpose in beginning any kind of fast or any kind of adjusting your nutrition in any way? And some people do juicing. So years ago, and even still probably, juicing is a big trendy thing. I'm going to do a juice fast, a juice cleanse, a juice detox.
Right. Which I've done, and I felt like I craved sugar way more with juicing than I did with the bone broth.
Absolutely, and that's because you're still most likely, depending on the juice, you're still consuming glucose. You're still consuming sugars with the juice if it has apples or any kind of fruit in it. So you're never truly getting your body into a fat adapted state if you're having that specific kind of juice. They do make some excellent juices out there that are ketogenic friendly, that help get you into your fat adapted state faster, sooner, with less carb dependence. But bone broth is it helps you get fat adapted sooner. It's extremely healing. It's been in ancient traditions all the way to current traditions. It's something that when we consume the whole animal, throughout our evolution, we used all parts of the animal, and bone broth has the mechanisms that play with bone broth, the healing mechanisms that play with bone broth are boundless. And if I give you my big six, and I can relate to this specifically for me, is joint health. I almost lost my leg, a few different knee injuries. And so I can talk a lot about joint health. Gut, it's phenomenal for the gut. So maybe some people out there have heard leaky gut. Stomach problems, leaky gut permeability, things like that, which then can lead to autoimmune. Skin, everybody cares about aging gracefully, looking their best, right? Their tightest. They love the amount of collagen in the various types of collagen in bone broth. Proline is in bone broth. So many excellent things for your skin. And then, like I said, the immune function, that essentially stems from your gut health. Like, how healthy is your gut? Is it permeable? So it can help your immune system function more optimally. You might see like buzzwords out there that talk about boosting your immune system. That's not necessarily a thing. I think we kind of want to be as specific as we can with our words, but we can help our immune system function more optimally. Bone broth helps that. We can say a detoxifier. It doesn't necessarily detox you, but it can help your liver and kidneys function optimally, which are in charge of your detoxification process. And then for me, and kind of specifically, we were touching on all those things with Brittney, but it pairs, Brittney mentioned the juicing. Bone broth pairs really well with any kind of intermittent fasting that you're doing, due to it aiding in your metabolism. And so we want our metabolism to be as optimal as possible when we're doing fasting. And with the bone broth, it helps with cofactors of glucosamine and chondroitin, sulfate, and as well as the glutathione. And glutathione is kind of the master antioxidant. And I wanted all of those things. I wanted Brittney to be at her most optimal when she's when she's doing her intense training with Sophie 4 days a week. I think you see her Monday through Thursday. And some of those days she's fasted, and we wanted her to be as strong as possible and have as much energy as possible.
It's insane, like fasting, working out, like you can still lift pretty decent amount. I was very shocked with my workout abilities fasted.
Right. Well, that's
like,
because
I thought I would literally just lay in bed not eating for a couple days, not eating food.
Well, that's when the so this is where it gets really complicated, because that's where the psychology, I can talk about the physiological responses that are happening, but a big portion of it is the psychological, the mindset. What education do we have, right? Because education is kind of the foundation of all beliefs. And so
Right.
if we've been brought up thinking that we have to eat 3 times a day, we have to eat to have energy. That's just not the case. Like when you eat, you're not even getting that energy, for multiple hours, right? So first, at minimum, it takes around 2 hours to have gastro emptying, and then it goes into your small intestines, and then your large, so you're looking at like 4 to 6 hours before you are even getting nutrients from that food. It's essentially just releasing your nutrient stores, and then
Right.
messes with your blood sugar. So once your blood sugar got regulated, I mean, you're essentially having, infinite energy, right? But it has to come from the psychology of it all.
Yeah. Yeah, it's insane to think you're hungry when it's like you have all these calories on you that are stored that are there to use for energy, but your body and your body's making your mind think, no, I want that donut right there. But it's not gonna make me feel good.
No, hormones.
I think
Hormones are.
something that's really that I'm working on now is trying to not have my kids, obviously they still eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but it's more or less on their schedule. Not like everyone sits down right at this time and eat as much as you can eat until you're full, which is hard because that's how all of us have been trained.
Yeah, but that's an awesome endeavor. That's an awesome endeavor that you're doing. Like eat when you're actually hungry, versus maybe potentially teaching that carb dependence, right? Or that glucose dependence, versus them being metabolically flexible at an early age, all the way through teens and adulthood, and they're eating. For you and Roman, you're eating for performance, right? Your nutrition is centered around performance.
Yeah.
Where for your kids, it's like you're eating, you're helping them understand, eat when you're hungry.
Yeah, and eat not just to feel full, but eat like I want them to feel that hunger pain instead of just eating snacks all day, or like eating snacks between meals, or like I feel like they're never actually hungry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Eat so much that I'm just like, there's no way you're hungry. You just ate. You're probably just.
Well, you mentioned the brain aspect of it, right?
Right.
So you have hormonal things that can influence the hunger pains and such, right? You've conditioned your body to anticipate food at a certain time, so you start secreting digestive enzymes, hormones start getting produced, so then you have that hangry feeling or whatnot. And then you also have your neurochemistry at play, right? Dopamine, serotonin when you have the carbs. And so that can also be kind of a pull towards specific foods as well. And then, I guess taking it back to bone broth, that kind of went off in a tangent, jumping ship. Not all bone broth is created equal, right? So we're not talking, we're not talking about bouillon cubes, or like beef stock maybe.
Like chicken broth.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason why the doctors have always prescribed, even saying have chicken soup, right? Because before, chicken soup meant actual bone broth of the chicken versus just flavorings and whatnot.
Right.
So any bone
never
broth.
think of it that way.
Yeah. Any bone broth that you're wanting, if you want all these benefits, it needs to ideally be grass-fed, pasture-raised, steeped for at least 12 hours. I think the ones that you were on were 18 to 40. There's a couple of different ones that you bought. 18 hours minimum, up to 40 hours. Most of them around 24 hours are pretty good. But certainly you want grass-fed, pasture-raised if possible. And when we talk about bone broth, we're not talking about bouillon cubes or flavoring or anything like that.
Right. Like chicken noodle soup isn't bone broth. There was a question of asking if it's safe for pregnancy. I know a lot of girls that I follow on Instagram and stuff, they drink it while they're pregnant. They don't fast with it.
Oh, okay, good.
Just drink it as like a side or a snack or whatever.
Yeah, 100%. Now, definitely, so certainly always contact your OBGYN.
Right, your midwife or doctor. But
Absolutely. But in addition to your nutrition, it's 100% phenomenal. Yeah, bone broth is so nutrient dense, and the great thing about it is the bioavailability of those nutrients. So it's full of micros, so like magnesium, calcium, selenium, boron, that typically are not highly bioavailable. But when you consume it in the bone broth form, it's much more bioavailable. Even if you buy high quality pharmaceutical grade supplements, it's a supplement. Even this highest quality is never going to be a replacement. Should never be, in my opinion, a replacement to what nature provides, right? And if we can get those same things from bone broth in a high density manner, then why not do it? In addition to whatever else you're consuming on a daily basis during your pregnancy.
right. Yeah. Okay, let me see any more questions on here. Is there a portion amount of any food? Is portion important of any food? Is Roman bulking?
Yes, bulk, clean bulking. Again, I don't like the word, right? Roman has aims and he has goals and wants and needs, right? He has surface level goals, right. He has mid-range, mid-depth goals, and foundational goals. And yes, Roman is eating for performance to be the strongest version of himself. Roman wants to be able to carry every family member on his back. So
including me.
Including Brittney. So we gotta get him to eat.
Okay, is there a vegan way of bone broth?
That's a really good question. The question itself is kind of contradictory.
Right.
You can't have bone broth. Could you somehow, they're trying to stump me. Could you somehow get the same minerals, the same amino acids? It'd be extremely difficult to do it in a vegan manner. You'd undoubtedly have to take some kind of supplements to do it. There is no complete way to do it other than bone broth, ligaments, tendons, marrow, that all come from the animal product.
Oh, that jelly kind of stuff.
Gelatin, 100%, yeah.
So the first time I ever drank bone broth, I didn't warm it up. I just drank it out of the bag. And I was just like, there's no way I can drink this.
I didn't know that. So
it's like a gelatin, like you could feel the gelatin in it.
So the very
but yeah, warming it up, bringing it to a quick boil is the go-to.
Oh wow, yeah. I'm surprised you stuck with it after that. Then.
Yeah, no, that was like, there's no way I can do this for 3 days. Like, no way.
That's
so obviously, I think my longest fast with it was 3 days. But like a lot of people will go on it. Like, what's the longest you've put someone on a bone broth fast for?
That's a good question, and it's I'm gonna say it's slightly proprietary information. I'll say maybe. Okay. So the longest person is our 60-day grand prize national winner, from our 60-day contest, Mary Beth, and she did some version. She consumed bone broth in some version, in some intermittent fasting, carnivore ketogenic fashion for 60 days. Now she didn't fast for 60 days.
Right.
But yeah, and you mentioned the energy levels, right? Like when she was fasting on bone broth and maybe some kind of bulletproof coffee, and obviously having some protein as a supplement, she'd go through 90-minute intense training protocols, 3 days a week with me, metabolic conditioning 2 days a week, sauna for 60 minutes once a week. And she would say, looking back on that process, I think verbatim, she said, if I would have known it was this easy, I would have done this years ago. And I was like, hold up, what you did wasn't necessarily easy. You're just very, strong-minded. But yeah, the longest, I'd say it just depends on your physiology, right? Like, if you have an excess amount of energy on your body, fat is energy, you can go months without consuming external energy. Now, Roman, the longest I would want you to probably do a fast, 3 days, 5 days, based on
I wonder if you could do it.
your body composition.
It'll be hard.
He never gets hangry.
No,
Yeah,
Roman,
yeah,
you think it would be difficult for you?
Yeah, of course.
I think you'd do it with ease. Based on what I know of you,
I don't think anybody doesn't. Nobody wants to not eat. Like, it's tough, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the reason we eat so much.
You've tried the bone broth though, and you've liked it.
Oh, you're saying with bone broth and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not Kool-Aid, but you know.
So when you guys do your fasting, I think, Roman, you've mentioned this before, when you'll do like your 24-hour fast, don't you derive have so much more gratitude towards the quality nutrition that you're consuming? Water, I think you mentioned once, like water.
Oh, yeah.
Never tastes.
Yeah. Food's not the problem. It's water. 24 hours without water is like when you take that first drink after 24 hours, you just appreciate it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's definitely a good experience.
And like Brittney, you brought up at the beginning, like why bone broth, and the note I took was, like what's the aim, what's the point of it, and it could be something as simple as a mindset test, something more breaking mental habits, breaking physical habits. I'm eating all the time, I'm snacking all the time. I want to break some habit. I want to challenge myself in some way. It can be as simple as that, and it's a healthy modality to challenge some of maybe the psychological or even physical habits that we have.
Yeah, I mean, I've been like, especially when I was pregnant, I was so addicted to food. Like, I would literally, my assistant that was working for us would go get me food, whatever I would want, twice a day. Like, that is so mind-blowing how much weight I gained and everything doing that. And it's just so mentally, the next day, that's all I wanted was the same thing. Or like something from the day before. It was like, there's just so much stuff in there that makes your brain want it so bad. But now, like, I can't remember the last time I've actually had like fast. Chipotle's different. I've had that. But I don't remember the last time I've actually had fast food. Like,
Good.
Fast food.
Very good. And I do think there's something in Chipotle.
Break your mind from that.
Say that again.
I said it takes a while to break your mind from that, from craving those certain things.
Right. Well, and I think it's you becoming empowered to make those decisions versus being manipulated by marketing that's out there, right? There's a reason why McDonald's is red and yellow, right? It has a neurochemical response on us seeing that and then wanting to eat, right? So I think, so it helps you overcome those habits as well, those formed habits. And then I think once you know you can do it, you go 3 days without food, drinking the bone broth. Then you start thinking, what else can I do? And why do I want to do these? Why do I want to do these things? What are some other goals that I didn't even think were possible for myself that now I've imprinted, and I'm starting to think, how can I be more fit? How can I be more healthy? When can I go to the gym? How can I be active outside? Whatever it is, you start thinking in a more health paradigm versus when's my next meal and what is it?
Yeah. So someone said Brittney loves pizza. You guys know I've been highly addicted to pizza for years. And I think the last time I had pizza was that time you were over with Roman and I ordered pizza. But I haven't had it. And I haven't really wanted it. Like, obviously, I would always eat it if it was there and I could. But I haven't wanted it to fuel my body for what I'm working towards.
Well, and
I think I'm working towards getting my weight down, and now I'm working towards getting my body fat percent down. And that's not going to help me get to those goals at all.
Exactly. Well, and that's the thing about pizza. Like, look, pizza is pizza. You know, it's great.
Yeah.
And that was really good pizza that you got. That was the first time I've had that pizza, and it was very good.
Yeah.
And so it's not like saying you can't ever have these things, but just know what you're eating, why you're having it to begin with. Is it a reward? And is it going to help you with your goals in various ways? But pizza is extremely nutrient dense in all of its forms, and it's very carb dense, right? So you're getting, like, your brain is just getting lit up when you have the pizza. It tastes amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, pizza. I think everyone, those who like pizza, should still keep pizza in their menu, but sparingly, and always in line with your goals. Why am I consuming this, right?
Right.
What other questions? I think I answered the ones on my list right here.
Is there anything else?
Portion size. Somebody asked portion size, which is a good question, or the amount of portion, which was kind of a cool question. I will always say prioritize protein, fats, carbs from fruits. Good rule of thumb. If you're on a fast of any kind, whether it's for religious purposes, health purposes, anything like that, ideally you want to break your fast, stop your fast with protein and fat only, for a whole host of reasons, and then you'll have your carbs. If you're having your carbs, I would suggest having them at the end of the day, post training, and or at the end of the day, depending on what kind of nutrition protocol you're on. Portion size, protein.
Yeah, I think that's something for me, wanting to be smaller. I'm just like, no, I don't want to eat too much protein. But once I got out of that mindset, like, okay, obviously I'm not eating too much protein to build muscle like crazy. It's helped so much. Like, I feel like everything's just moving so much faster once I accept what you guys are saying and telling me.
Well, and look, for a woman to get, you're not going to get bulky. Right. You're not going to get bulky. You're going to get lean, tight. You'd have to have some assistance to look like maybe some of the women that you were speaking of, to get that jacked.
Right.
But yeah, protein. It's the most thermic food, right? So if you're eating 100 grams of protein, on average, you're going to 100 calories of protein. 20 of those calories are going to go to just processing the protein. It's the most thermic food, okay? And then protein itself, amino acids, are responsible for all cellular repair. So you want great skin, great eyes, bone health, everything. Protein first goes to cellular repair, and then it goes towards the growth of new muscle, hypertrophy. So yeah, protein.
Yeah. Okay, well, did we answer all your guys' questions? Definitely want to thank everyone for being here. I feel like I feel like if you're mentally ready to get your goals, if they're about mental, physical, whatever goals, obviously seeking out a trainer is the biggest thing you can do. And you're just like, oh, I can't afford it. Add up all the times you went to any fast food places, any times you've spent money at the gas stations. Add all of that up, and if that adds up to anywhere close to a trainer that can help you, stop spending it there and start spending it on your health. I think that's the biggest thing. Just seek for people to help you, not to ask you when you want to go out and have a beer. So
100%.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you for being here, Andrew. And guys, go follow him. He is newer to Instagram, but he's going to start posting more things on health and nutrition.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, thanks.
See ya.
Okay. So how are you guys all doing today? I have a reel I'm going to get ready and post. Did you guys like my reel yesterday that I posted? I hope this was helpful. Everyone asked me so many questions about it. And I really do hope this was helpful and answer a few questions that you guys had. And just research it. Like the more that you research on your own, the better, you can be there for yourself. The more you can know, the more knowledge you have, the easier it gets. Okay. That was great. I think that was a fun stream, and let me know, DM me. I think I can get DMs. DM me and let me know what we should do next time. Should I do something else about, maybe I could do a workout or like talk about something. I don't know. Maybe I could cook a healthy meal. Or, yes, I'm going to save this live stream so you guys can rewatch it. But I love you. Thanks for all your support. Thanks for all the badges, everyone. I love all of the colored hearts. You guys are amazing. Yeah, so I'm going to go. And just thank you guys for being here. And we love you.